Okay, so the last time we talked about fossils and what do we mean by fossils and why they are important. In order to study them, we know what kind of life that was before us. Okay, so we have different types of fossils, but first let's remember then what do we mean by fossil? It's a preserved or the preserved remains or evidence. So they don't have to be only remains. It could be an evidence of the living thing itself, like his footprint, his teeth mark, maybe what is left like carbon film of this living organism. Okay, so fossils again don't have to be only remains, not bones or skin. They can also be evidence. Okay, and then we have many types of fossils. The first type is the original remains, and those are unchanged, like this piece of skull in here. This is unchanged. This is just bones. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these bones are unchanged, and they are one of the types of fossils we call original remains. Original remains, okay? So original remains have many examples. The first example is that it's made up of the hard parts, like the bones or shells of animals, okay? Or they can be animals trapped in ice, like the woolly mammoth here. So they found out this mammoth trapped in ice with all the flesh and hair and everything, as you guys can see. So it did not change a lot. So that's what we call original remains or unchanged remains. Okay. You can see that it's still with all the details, like the marks on his feet and the hair, the skin maybe changed the color a little bit, and it's not as healthy as it is when it's alive, but it's still a lot of details, which is amazing thing for scientists to discover. Can you see, guys, the details in there?
Yes.
Yes. So now we learned two types of original remains, or two examples. First, the hard parts, and then the one trapped in ice. Because in ice it's very cold. The bacteria and decomposers do not work in cold conditions. So that's why the animal stays the same, does not decompose or break down. Okay, that's why we call this original remains too, or unchanged.
Okay.
Okay, so people will say they are trapped in ice. Why didn't they decompose? Now we know why, right? Because bacteria and
Yes,
decomposers.
because bacteria and decomposers cannot work in cold places.
Yes, that's right. Well done. That's why we keep our food in freezer in order to stop it from becoming rot, or just to make it stay for longer times. The last example of the original remains or unchanged remains is the amber. This is what we call amber. And this is a liquid that becomes hardened after a while. The insects or some animals can get trapped in it, and once it's hardened, they just give you this shape, which we call amber, with all the details inside. Can you see? This is a mosquito, for example. You can see
Yes.
the wings, you can see its body, even its the needle where it sticks people with. So this is amazing, but this is also unchanged remains because you still can see all the details of the insect. Okay, so we have three types or three examples of original remains. The one made up with hard parts like the bones or shells, the trapped in ice example like the woolly mammoth, or the amber or the animals trapped in tar, which is the liquid that comes hardened then and becomes an amber, which you can see here. There is a scorpion in this one. Let me zoom in. This is a scorpion, so obvious with his tail and the sting board. Down
Yes.
there, it's supposed to be a frog. I don't know if you guys can see it. A small frog
Yes.
trapped inside. So those are the examples of unchanged remains or original remains. Okay. This is a man or scientist standing next to fossilized dinosaur bones. You guys know that now we can find most of the fossils in sedimentary rocks, right?
Yes.
Yes, because we cannot find them in igneous, because igneous will actually melt before becoming a hard rock, and that means all the fossils will also melt. Or metamorphic
Yes.
rock is hard to also find fossils in it, because it goes under heat and pressure, so they can also change the types of the fossils. So the best rocks
Yes.
to find fossils in is actually the sedimentary rock.
Sedimentary rock.
Yes, well done, guys. This is an imaginary picture of how animals are trapped in ice. You can see a whole mammoth trapped in the ice.
Yes.
Do you guys think it's what type of fossil is this? Is this an original remains?
Yes.
Yes, well done. This is the tar or the liquid where animals get trapped in, and then the tar hardens and becomes amber. This is how thick it is. Okay. The up photo in here, it's actually showing statue. It's no real animals. Okay. You can see how they can get easily trapped in this thick material, so sticky and so thick. So when this material hardens, it becomes amber, as we said before. Then we have another type of fossils. First type we called original remains, right? The first type was called original remains.
Yes.
Yes, the second type is called replaced remains, which means that the remains of these fossils or the living things is actually replaced with something else. In this case, it's replaced by minerals. It's replaced by minerals.
Minerals.
Yes, so what happens in here is that this piece of wood, this is a piece of tree, of course, but this is not wood anymore. It's actually minerals. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes. So what happened in here is that all the parts of this living organism, or whatever is left of, is actually filled with water containing minerals. And then these minerals, of course, will harden, because we know that when minerals harden, they form rocks. So when these
Yes.
minerals harden, they take the shape of the wood or the shape of the tree, forming a petrified wood or a type of fossils we call replaced remains. This is another example. I will make you guys watch a video at the end of how these organisms are made. Okay.
Okay.
This is also another example. So you think that this is shell, but it's not actually. It's replaced with minerals. So now it's all made up of minerals. Okay.
Okay.
Can you see this insect?
Yes.
Yes. Another type of fossil is the mold or cast. Mold and cast.
Okay.
Yes, it's like using clay in order to reshape something, and then you're left with the space. So you fill the space with glue, for example, and get the shape of the organism or whatever statue that you use.
Okay.
You'll understand more with the video, guys, because I know you cannot imagine it as much as possible, but this is example of, let me zoom in. This is a trilobite. This is a type of organism. It was trapped in the layers of the sand, and this organism decomposed, leaving space. Can you see this? It's a space of the
Yes.
organism itself. And then this part was also filled with minerals, and then formed this cast. Can you see that? So
Yes.
both of them belong to each other. Guys, do you understand, or you just keep saying yes?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so you get what is happening now. This is mold.
Yes.
The one on the left is called mold. It's like the ice cube tray. Do you know the ice cube tray? The one we put in the
Yeah,
fridge?
where you
Fill it
put
with water?
water and then put it in the freezer to make ice.
Yes. So what happened is that when we take the ice out, it takes the shape of the tray, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the ice cube tray is actually the mold in this case. And the ice we take off, that takes the shape of the tray, is called cast. The same in here also. Okay, so we
Okay.
understand now the difference between mold and cast.
Yes.
Okay. So this is another example of people making parts in movies and stuff like that. So this is a silicone hand. This is silicone, of course, it's not real one. And the one behind is actually the tray. Can you see? So she made the shape of the hand and then she filled it with the silicone substance to take the shape of the hand she made. Do you get it?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is also mold and cast. So the hand she's taking off is the cast and the space behind is actually the mold.
The mold.
Yes, this is another example. This is looks like shell, but actually it's a cast of a shell. So it's not the real shell, it's actually an impression of it. The last
Okay.
types of fossils is the trace fossils. And trace fossils are not real parts, not like bones, skin, hair. No, it's just evidence. Like the food.
The teeth marks or maybe footprints or stuff like that that is left on maybe sand, and then the sand hardens, and then we have it trace fossils.
Yes, well done. Yes, well done. And here you have teeth marks. Can you see them? So maybe this
Yes.
was a piece of meat or something and it hardened with time, became rock, and left all the teeth marks inside. So again, trace fossils, trace are evidence. They are not real parts of the organism, like footprints, teeth marks, tunnels. We have another example of trace fossils is whatever is left from this organism. For example, these two pictures on the left represent plants. You can see that it's not real plant, it's actually carbon film. And carbon film is what's left after this organism decomposed completely. We left with the carbon, and you can see that the carbon takes the shape of the organism itself. But these are
Yes.
not real cells, okay? Not real cells of the organism. It's
Okay.
like, yes, it's like a silhouette. A silhouette is like the shade of the organism, but not
The
the real
shadow.
organism. Yes, the shadow of the organism. Well done. This is a carbon film. So the trace fossils again could be footprints, teeth marks, tunnels, or the carbon film as we said. This is another example. Okay, can you see how amazing the details are? But this is not the real
Yes.
organism, it's just an impression of it. Okay, here's another thing.
Okay.
It's trapped in the rocks. Okay, so let's start with some questions. Do you guys have anything to ask before continuing with the questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, you will have another video uploaded inshallah as soon as possible talking about the new part we took today. So you can guys watch it. Yeah, try to check it at the end of the week. So if you have any questions, you can ask me in the next extra care session. Okay?
Okay.
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 So the first question says fossils are usually formed when the organism dies and gets buried in mud or sand. As a result, what type of rock are fossils usually found in?
Can I
Where
answer?
do you Yes, you can answer.
Sedimentary.
Yes, sedimentary rock. Well done. Thank you so much. So sedimentary rock is the type of rock where fossils are found. You can see all the layers in here, and sedimentary rock is famous with the layer. Okay. What are fossils not usually found in igneous rock? Why are fossils not usually found in the igneous rock? Why we don't find fossils in the
Because they melt before they form into igneous rocks, and if fossils were in there already, they would have melted already.
Yes, that's right. They would have melted, right? Well done. So that's why we cannot find fossils in the igneous rocks because they are formed by the melted magma, and then that means all the fossils will be already melted. Okay, what for settings or environments could fossils be preserved? What for settings or environments could
Into
fossils
rocks.
be preserved? Okay, they can be found in sedimentary rock. Yes, well done.
Ice.
Ice, trapped in ice. Well done. Or
Amber.
amber, which we call tar in here. It's the same thing, the black liquid in there. Yes. So it's
Okay.
tar, I'm sorry, amber, um, ice, rocks. Huh. Where else do you think they could be found? Well, they have something else. It's like a liquid. It looks like tar, but it's called tree sap. You will watch it in the video right now. Tree sap. It's a liquid trees or plants produce. It's
Okay.
just liquid at the first time, and then it hardens, also forming something looking like amber. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So what are the 5 types of fossils, including the different types? And we
Mold
learned
and casts.
mold and cast. Yes, well done.
Trace.
Trace fossils. Yes.
Original.
Original fossils. We have the opposite of original fossils. The replaced fossils. The
Yeah,
replaced
replaced
fossils.
fossils.
Yes. And last but not least is the petrified wood, like this one, or petrified fossils, or the carbon film in there. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, let's watch a video now that will actually make up for all of this. Let me just stop recording. Do you have any questions before leaving?
No.
Okay. Just be careful with the video now.